Jai Shri Ram. Mahabharata Esoterica SABHA PARVA, which is the second chapter. And in this SABHA PARVA, some important Parva names are Sabha Nirmana Parva, Lokapala Sabhakhyana Parva, Rajasuya Arambha Parva, Jarasandha Vadha Parva, Digvijaya Parva, Rajasuya Parva, Arghya Sharana Parva. Arghya is the chief guest. Agra Puja, Krishna receives it because Bhishma nominates Krishna. Shishupala Vadha Parva, Dyuta Parva, and Anudyuta Parva. That means the second game of dice. There were two games of dice. Now, as I summarized and read from various extracts that I have taken, I am sure you will be entertained, you will learn a lot of things. I may speak a little slowly. You can always use the settings to speed up the speech. Okay, now let's start off straight away. What are the important special particulars that I will discuss first? Sabha Parva, the special details. The horses that adorned the chariot, that pulled the chariot of Sri Krishna, were Krishna's chariots. The names of the horses were Saibhya, Sugriva, Megha Pushpa, Valahaka. Saibhya, Sugriva. You see, Sugriva from Ramayana has come here. Of course, he is not an incarnation of Sugriva. Megha Pushpa and Valahaka. Let's leave them there. We will discuss the deeper meaning of names later if necessary. Okay, because I cannot pack too much information. Already this is running into 30 minutes now. The last one I think ran into 30 minutes or more. Mayadanava was invited by Krishna to build the Indraprastha. So, Mayan civilization, if you have heard of that, their architecture is so complex, so aesthetic, and at great heights on the hills. Even today, I believe modern architects and engineers are fascinated, intrigued by how such constructions were possible at such great heights. How could they carry the building material? So, these are matters which intrigue even the most scientific minds. Now, it is left to you. So, I don't want to comment on that now. Mayadanava presented a conch named Devadatta to Arjuna and a mace to Bhima, and he brought them from the assembly of Rishaparva. So, these are some Esoterica again. Bhima and Jarasandha. See, Krishna's strategy was simple. Before the major showdown, he ensured that all the allies, strong allies, as many of them, were eliminated before the major showdown. So, one by one, Krishna was knocking off and making Duryodhana weak. So, this is a simple strategy. Modi ji is doing the same thing, don't worry. Okay. So, Jarasandha, Bhima and Jarasandha fought for 13 days, day and night. Just imagine. Taking breaks and getting freshened and getting ready, and this Kusti, wrestlers. Actually, Krishna, Bhima and Arjuna all three went disguised as Brahmins, seeking alms, charity. And Jarasandha gave some charity, and he asked, what do they want? In those days, people always would take the blessings of Brahmins. So Jarasandha asked them what they wanted, and they said that they want to wrestle with you, because Jarasandha is known for his wrestling prowess. Jarasandha did not recognize. At that point of time, Jarasandha was surprised. Why are these Brahmins interested in wrestling with me? Later on, he realized who this Brahmin was. He is not a Brahmin, Bhima. So finally, 13 days, just imagine. It's like an Olympic wrestling bout. So many rounds are there. And Jarasandha was finally killed by Bhima. He was cut up into two pieces and thrown this way and that, because he was almost an immortal, because he had the bone. If his body was split into two, Bhima split his body into two. But the two pieces would come and join together and become whole again. So, simple lateral thinking. The pieces were thrown this way and that, so that they cannot fuse. Anyway, so that's a simple message, lateral thinking message. Don't go too deep into that. Okay. Then this kushti happened in the Kartika Masam. When Arjuna invaded a country after the Rajasuya Yajna, all of them went around seeking allies, because it was already predicted. Narada predicted that within 13 years of this second dice game, within 13 years there will be a major showdown, that is a war, and there will be a catastrophic war. So Narada predicted that. So since the prediction was already in place, and it can't be wrong, once Narada said it and Vyasa confirmed it. So Yudhishthira and Duryodhana went about accumulating allies, strengthening their party for the next election, for the showdown. So Bhima went toward the east. That means all China and all that, Japan and all those areas, they were all ruled by various kings. In fact, there were several emperors in the whole world, all of them happily ruling their own kingdoms. But Yudhishthira was accepted as the supreme. So they were paying tribute. So Bhima went toward the east, Sahadeva to the south. Sahadeva defeated the Andhras, and Andhras actually ended up fighting for Duryodhana later. See, and during the Rajasuya Yajna, kings and emperors from all over the world came, from all over the globe came and paid tribute. Lagan, it's a tax or something like that, or gifts actually, you can call it whatever you want to call it. So, and Vibhishana from Sri Lanka, the Ramayana character Vibhishana, also came. So if people don't know this, they should be amazed, isn't it? So Vibhishana is a Chiranjeevi. He has been blessed to be a Chiranjeevi. So he comes. He also offers many diamonds, horses, and so many wonderful things he gives to Yudhishthira. So actually during the Rajasuya Yajna, everyone had some work to do. Krishna was receiving guests, washing the feet of Vedic Brahmins and Rishis. Just imagine. And Krishna was serving food, and he was clearing up the plates. That means, dirty plates. Krishna was clearing up the plates of everyone, washing the feet of learned people and Rishis and Brahmins, and serving food and clearing the tables. Just imagine. That is Lord Krishna. Sri Krishna for you. That is the level of humility of the Supreme Lord. So he always serves people of knowledge, and he always is willing to serve anybody. So this is about Krishna. And Duryodhana was given the task of receiving the gifts from various people. I believe the treasury was so full of all the gifts given by different people. So Duryodhana sprained his wrist. Duryodhana sprained his wrists, and he became extremely jealous at all the diamonds, pearls, rubies, horses, elephants. Oh my God, from all over the world, gifts were pouring in. There was a president of India, she took away all the gifts. Patil, I think. So these are all gifts given for the king, which means for the people. So Yudhishthira had a huge treasury, exchequer, and he made Duryodhana the in charge of receiving the guests, receiving the gifts. Now I think there was a political move there. Who knows? Yudhishthira was not just an ordinary chap. Don't think that he was a naive fellow. He in fact refused to play gambling. Anyway, but he is mistakenly portrayed as a person who has a vice. Well, that is allowed. You can criticize Yudhishthira that he had perhaps a weakness for gambling. But Yudhishthira denied. He said, no, I will not. It was not good. But Dhritarashtra was a cunning fellow. He sent Vidura to invite, and Vidura told Yudhishthira that, listen, see, if you are a king, it is Rajadharma, and when a king is invited for any competition, sports competition, gambling, or a battle, challenge to a battle, he cannot say no. So all this logic was given, and Yudhishthira never wanted to participate in the dice game, but he was willy-nilly dragged into it. So that is the truth. So don't criticize Yudhishthira as a person who had a weakness for gambling. No. Perhaps there is a streak, I am willing to concede that much. But this is the whole thing. See, Dhritarashtra was a cunning fellow. He sent Vidura. because Vidura was such a great and wise man. In fact, Yudhishthira complimented Vidura. On seeing Vidura, he said that seeing you is like seeing a pilgrimage. You are a moving pilgrimage. So, we go all the way to Varanasi, Chardham. Now, Vidura is all the pilgrimages of all the world combined, and he is moving. He is all the pilgrimages personified. That is the ultimate compliment anybody can give to anybody. So Yudhishthira gave this compliment to Vidura, and Dhritarashtra knew that if Vidura goes and invites Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira cannot say no. See the wiliness? This is how crooked people are. So please be careful. What do they say? Beware of Greeks coming with gifts. The Trojan War. So Vidura came, and Duryodhana, I think I told you that much. So now after the Rajasuya Yajna also, Bhima went east, Sahadeva to the south. The Andhras fought and then gave him taxes, tribute and all that. Finally the Andhras fought on the side of Duryodhana. And Nakula, I think, went west. Nakula went west. And who else was there? Sahadeva south. Arjuna perhaps went to north, and Nakula, Arjuna went west and Nakula to the north. So let us see, we will come back to that. We will correct in case if I made an error there. So now, where were we? Where did we stop? So I told you about MAHABHARATA, Rajasuya Yajna. Krishna received the Vedic scholars, washed the feet of Brahmins and Vedic scholars and rishis, and also served food and cleared the dirties, cleared the tables. Mayasabha was constructed in 14 months. The architect was Mayadanava. Incidentally, Mayadanava is the father-in-law of Ravanasura. Mayadanava's daughter was Mandodari, and Mandodari was born in Meerut, and Ravana is a Brahman. Many idiots, these left liberando pseudo scholars like Kancha, Illayya and so many other buffoons, they think Ravana is a Dalit and Rama is an Aryan. First of all, there is no Aryan civilization. Dr. Ambedkar completely debunked that theory. Not only Dr. Ambedkar, many others also exposed the lie that Aryan invasion theory was cooked up by that scoundrel Max Muller and foisted on us just to give Hindus the feeling that, listen, you are not the sons of the soil or anything. You came before us, but we were stronger, so we beat the hell out of you and we took. So don't say that you are the original inhabitants. There are no original inhabitants. Okay, we will concede you came before us, but we are stronger, so we took it from you. To foist this lie on us, to make us feel that we cannot claim, this Aryan theory was concocted by the scoundrel Max Muller. Murkha Muller. Sayyid Ahmad Khan, the founder of Aligarh Muslim University. So the Muslim scholars pounced on this idea. They thought, yeah, this is a nice idea, we too will support it. Why? Because they too can then claim, hey, listen, Hindus, you are not the original inhabitants or anything. Yes, we came from outside, we invaded, we attacked, we were stronger, so we took it. So don't now say that it originally belonged to you. Nothing belonged to anybody. So jiski lathi, uski bhains. So the Muslims were also very happy to appropriate this theory to justify their atrocities. See, this is history. Please learn. If you don't, our children will be mistaken completely. So Aryan invasion theory is the biggest lie the world was told, and unfortunately even in our school textbooks this nonsense is still there. So now Maya Danava, he was spared his life when Khandava Prastha was burnt. He was the only fellow who was allowed to run away, because Krishna knew that this fellow can do other favor. There is a deal there too. In Kali Yuga, it's all deal Yuga it is. So don't trust anybody. Respect all, suspect all. Learn, read the Mahabharata, or at least listen to me. I have done enough work on this and I continuously work, because I believe my job is to reboot Hinduism and tell you all that I can tell you, and as you listen, you too can draw your inferences. I'll be glad. Someday I'll become world famous, and then we will have more discussions. Better you contribute to the discussion now itself. Anyway, Mayadanava constructed this Mayasabha. He constructed the whole of Indraprastha, and Mayasabha separately he constructed, and he got it carried to Indraprastha by 18,000 Rakshasas. Interesting, isn't it? So this was constructed elsewhere. Like most of our flyovers, you see, the structures are constructed elsewhere, carried, brought together, put here. So Mayadanava constructed Mayasabha like that. Jarasandha. Now let us know a little about Jarasandha. This scoundrel imprisoned 90% of the emperor's kings in the world, and only some 10% remained. And he wanted to sacrifice all of them in a tantric Vamachari method, because he thought by sacrificing all these kings he can attain some siddhis. So this man was a wretched, evil-minded, diabolical scoundrel, indulging in tantric, like slitting goats necks, slitting chicken necks, halal method. So he was a proponent of this halal method Vamachari. So just imagine, so many kings, their entire family is destroyed. So he was evil personified. So King Bhagadatta, now the next character. Bhagadatta is the father-in-law of Duryodhana. Bhagadatta was the king of Assam, Manipur, and that whole complex of 7 sisters. So Pragjotishapura it was called, Pragjotishapura. Bhagadatta's daughter was Bhanumati, whom Duryodhana married. Okay. Now Bhagadatta fought with Arjuna for 8 days, and when Arjuna invaded the country prior to that, Rajasuya Yajna. Okay, so some more details. Sri Krishna always bowed to Yudhishthira and Bhima because they were elder to him. Isn't it wonderful? Bhima was elder. And by the way, incidentally, Krishna and Duryodhana are in-laws, Sambandhi, Viyankulu. Of course, now there is a whole lot of interpolation and all kinds of fantastic theories are there. Krishna had only one wife, Rukmini, and he had Pradyumna as his son and Aniruddha as his grandson. But there are other narratives, you see, which just for the listening pleasure I will tell you. To what extent is it true, I don't want to dilate on that. Anything is true when Krishna is around, anything is true. Quantum mechanics, you see, anything is possible in quantum mechanics. Parallel universes are running simultaneously. So if you know a little about quantum mechanics, then you will have some understanding and inkling of Krishna. Inkling means just a hint. If you want to understand Krishna better, you should study quantum mechanics. Okay, that's why Niels Bohr said, if you are not confused, it means you have not understood anything about quantum mechanics. Niels Bohr said, if you are not confused, you haven't understood anything. Same thing with Krishna. Its Krishna Leela is totally inscrutable. So Krishna's son Samba, born of Jambavati, was married to Lakshmani, who is the daughter of Duryodhana. So ban gaye sambandhi, Viyankulu aipoyaru kada. So in-laws. So look at the web of relations. And many kings are mentioned in this particular Parva, Sabha Parva, who had their own specialities, special faculties and excellences. Some I will mention. King Yavanaswa. Yavanaswa brought everyone under his sway, under his authority, by extracting taxes. He was good at that. Bhagirata. Bhagirata was another king. By his benevolent treatment, he gained the support of the people. And Kartavirya Arjuna, by his great power and asceticism, and Bharata, by his extraordinary prowess and skill and talent and intelligence and medha and physical prowess. Bharata. In fact, India is named after Bharata, by the way. And Marutta is another king who was very rich and prosperous and very wealthy. And that's how they all became great emperors. So I'm not going into further detail. You see, Bharata, Shakuntala, Dushyanta, Vishwamitra was jolted out of his tapasya by Menaka, and Vishwamitra and Menaka, their offspring was Shakuntala. Dushyanta fell in love, and their son was Bharata. Bharata is the forefather of all the Pandavas and Kauravas, and our country is named Bharata. Bharat. Bha means knowledge. Bha means power. Bha means opulence, fabulous wealth. So Bha connotes all positive things, fantastic wealth. And Bha means light, illumination, knowledge. Rata. Rata means one who derives pleasure from knowledge. So what this means is every Indian, every Hindu is a Bharata, which means we are people who have a genetic bent, and intrinsically we savor knowledge of all kinds, not just spiritual knowledge, secular knowledge. That is why India, from 1100 to 1700, as Angus Madison, an American economist, writes, India contributed to nearly 40% of the world GDP from 1100 to 1700, and the British destroyed our complete education system and industry, and we became impoverished. So some idiots say that British gave us railways. These scoundrels have no idea. These rascals are converted fellows. They have not read the holy books, that Bible and all that. They have not read. If they read it, then, or if they can't read, they can listen to my lectures. I will show you what is there in these amazing books, holy books. You will be shocked how anything can be called holy. So the British broke the back of the Indian economy. People became impoverished because of the British. From 35 to 40% contribution, our contribution even today is less than 1% of the world GDP. The impact of allowing such brutish custards, you understand custard now? Such brutish custards, if you allow, this is the impact. For hundreds of years, we will continue to suffer. So be careful. Don't mistakenly think that by saying that all religions are good, all people are nice, people are born good, I don't know, all that nonsense. Once you are born in a desert cult, you will become a snake, a viper. So learn the truth and don't wax eloquent and think that you are going to get some title for talking crap like this. You are a useful idiot in this case, and they will use you as cannon fodder anyway. So please try to know what these terms mean. So I have taken off again. So this is the problem, Rishi. There's so many things come up and so many things we don't know. So we have to know. So now let us get back. So I gave you the special exquisite details or excerpts or surkhiyan, the vignettes of Sabha Parva. Vignettes, vignettes. Vignettes means miniature painting or excerpts or surkhiyan, headlines, or the exquisite or main particular features. So about Sabha Parva, let me give you a quick run. Okay. So Yudhishthira got this Indraprastha, Mayasabha, and Mayadanava did that. Narada also came. Narada delivered a sermon on statecraft. So Narada taught Yudhishthira about statecraft, realpolitik, macpolitik, and politics. So Arthashastra, actually many people think that Chanakya wrote it. Chanakya claims in Arthashastra, first thing he says is, I am not the original author. I have just presented it from Vedas. So everything originates in the Vedas. So Chanakya makes that mention very clearly. So Yudhishthira, I believe, asked Narada, please tell me, explain how the assembly halls of rulers in the universe are. So Narada described the assembly hall of Indra, Yama, Varuna, Kubera, and also Brahma. See, right now if you are studying politics, you should know about the American Parliament Capitol. CAPITOL, Capitol building, the Senate and the House of Representatives, how they function. The Parliament of Japan. Diet is the name of one parliament. So how the British House of Lords and House of Commons, how they function, bicameral legislature, unicameral legislature. So much knowledge in the Mahabharata. See, common people were taught all subjects wide these pravachanas. These sermons were not woolly stuff. They were packed with knowledge for the common people. So these are the informal universities. All these Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, they were the informal university by which knowledge was imparted to the general public. Now our universities are rotting because they are full of political activity. They have become hotbeds of political activity. In the hostels you will find radicals who will say Bharat tere tukde honge. This nonsense is going on, and this is why we have fallen. We must eliminate all politics in universities. Politicians should not be allowed to step into universities. In America, that is what they do. They don't allow politicians to come there. Okay. So now, Narada described, so that Yudhishthira understood, okay, this is how politics and assembly, how to, there was a code. In our parliament also there is a code, but our MPs don't know. Sabham va praveshtavyam vaktavyam va samanjasam abhruvan vibhravan va api naro bhavati kilbishi manusmriti. It is inscribed in the old parliament. I am sure it must have been inscribed in the new one also now. On the dome near the second lift in the old Sansad, this is there, which is from Manusmriti, and which says Sabham va na praveshtavyam, don't enter this assembly, don't enter the parliament. Vaktavyam va samanjasam, if you cannot put your opinion, honest opinion there for others to consider, and if you remain silent or speak untruth, you will have committed papam, so you will pay bitterly. This is written, this is a simple code of conduct. How many MPs are following it? All kinds of clowns and charlatans and mountebanks are getting into the parliament. They are speaking utter lies. This is the code of conduct. So Yudhishthira learnt about politics and all that. Narada gave a lengthy lecture. And then Krishna suggested that Yudhishthira should perform the Rajasuya Yajna, so that he can proclaim his sovereignty. And it's a kind of imperial rule, though he was a benevolent emperor. That is so that to prevent wars and all that, if everyone is subservient to a good king, like philosopher king like Yudhishthira, there will be peace and prosperity. So the first thing that was required was to eliminate Jarasandha. I told you, Jarasandha was the king of Magadha, and these three people went as Brahmins, and Jarasandha was finished. So Arjuna went to the north, like I told you. I think I told you now. Arjuna went to the north. Okay, Arjuna went to the north, and he conquered several areas and secured the obedience and funds from several kings. Bhima east, Sahadeva south, and Nakula to the west, and all of them returned with huge honors and gifts and all that. So the Rajasuya Yajna was performed, and all rishis and kings were invited. Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Ashwadhama, Duryodhana, all the Kauravas and kings from all over far-flung areas of the globe, they all came. And like I told you, Krishna washed the feet of Brahmins and rishis and all knowledgeable people. He served food, cleared the tables. I am so fond of narrating this again and again. So Shishupala objected. Shishupala happens to be Krishna's cousin, like Ekalavya was also Krishna's cousin. Many idiots think that Ekalavya is a Girijan. No, Ekalavya is not SC/ST, not scheduled tribe. He was a cousin of Sri Krishna. So the whole discussion is over there. I have already posted a video on Ekalavya. Please listen to that. So Shishupala is Jaya Vijaya reborn as Shishupala Dantavakra. Ravana Kumbhakarna. And first one was Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana Kumbhakarna, Shishupala, Dantavakra. So they are Jaya, Vijaya who were born as demons, Rakshasas. So Shishupala objected. Krishna was suggested as the person fit recipient for being the chief guest, Agra Puja. So everyone agreed, but Shishupala felt very jealous, because Shishupala was angry because for various reasons Shishupala is already Jaya Vijaya born here. So Shishupala was actually promised Rukmini's hand. Rukma was Rukmini's elder brother. Rukmini is Lakshmi Devi. So reborn. So Shishupala was promised Rukmini Devi's hand in marriage, and she was very beautiful. So Shishupala thought, okay, I'll marry. But Rukmini was in love with Krishna, because Krishna already became world famous. 64 arts he learnt in 64 days from Sandipani Rishi. What is the message for you and me? Very simple. All of us can learn any number of things and self-actualize if we are completely immersed and dedicated totally, which we don't do. Try to do too much actually. Many people tell you don't do too much. I am telling you do too much. As you go on doing too much, you will realize that too much is too little. and your efficiency level of skill will rise to such an extent that, like they say, Leonardo da Vinci was 10 men in one. Okay, we also have great geniuses who were 100 men in one. So you too can be. Please understand, every child should be taught that he is a genius, born genius. If you give the right kind of education, all of us will become like Krishna. 64 arts in 64 days. So that was Krishna. We fail to learn even one art in an entire lifetime. So that is the level of dedication. So now, where did we stop? So we are back with Shishupala objected because, and Rukmini wrote a love letter to Krishna saying that so Krishna came and abducted her, because Gandharva Vivaha is allowed, Rakshasa Vivaha you can abduct, and in this case Rukmini was willing, she was willing to marry him. So to avoid all a big fight and battle and all that, he took her away. So Rukma chased him. Rukma was beaten up badly by Krishna, and Rukma left. Rukma and Balrama are the two people who did not participate in the Kurukshetra. The reason was Rukma was an arrogant fellow. Rukma's life was spared by Krishna because Rukmini said, please don't kill my brother. Now Shishupala was frustrated. That is the problem, because he wanted Rukmini to be his wife. Krishna stole her. And Shishupala was a good friend of all these Jarasandha, Salva, Kamsa, all these gang. This is a big gang, mafia. This was the Rakshasa Asura mafia at that time. So he wanted to wreak vengeance on Krishna. So Rukma's case, why he did not fight the Kurukshetra war? Who were the two people who did not fight? One was Balrama, the other was Rukma. Rukma was an arrogant fellow. He first went to Duryodhana and told him, hey, listen Duryodhana, I have come with a huge Vanak-Shohini army. I will wipe out the Pandavas and you don't worry. Duryodhana got annoyed because Rukma sounded as if, without his help Duryodhana cannot win the war. So Duryodhana's ego was pricked, needled. So he got provoked and said, get lost man, you think I am such a useless fellow? So Rukma came to Yudhishthira and said the same thing, and Yudhishthira also kicked him out. Said, get lost, we don't need your help. So Rukma did not participate. Balrama did not participate because Balrama was the teacher of both Bhima and Duryodhana. He did not want to see all this, so Balrama left. Balrama is the avatar of Sheshnag, by the way. So Sheshnag himself says, Krishna, Sheshnag is Nitya Mukta. Krishna is lying on Sheshnag, that is what Adishesha. So Krishna, Sheshnag is a Nitya Mukta, ever free. We are fallen Atmas. So Sheshnag himself says, Krishna, your Leela is so inscrutable, I can't understand it. So he says, I can't see all this huge battle, people killing each other, millions die. So Krishna, I don't know what you are doing, so I can't watch this. So Balrama leaves. So these are the two people. Now we are back to our story. Where did we stop? So Shishupala, now why is this important for you to know? Please listen very carefully now. Shishupala heard all kinds of abuses against Bhishma for giving the advice and proposal that Krishna should be made the chief guest, and he heard abuses at Krishna also for accepting that respect, that post as chief guest, though he does not deserve it. Sahadeva wanted to kill Shishupala then and there, but Krishna said, no, this is my job, don't do that, because Krishna already promised Shishupala's mother that he will not kill him, but until and after he crosses 100 felonies, 100 misdemeanors. So Krishna was counting. Now Shishupala heard a lot of abuses, but Shishupala never mentioned anything about Radha, Gopika and Krishna's affairs with 16,000 wives, 8 Pattapuranis, or nothing of that sort. Why? Because they were all not there. This is all cooked up interpolation. Lot of stuff has been written by people ostensibly inspired by bhakti. And we Hindus have no problem. Today I can write a new version of Mahabharata, my own interpretation, inspired by bhakti, and I will concoct some more stuff. Hindus will not mind, because the logic is, if it can inspire bhakti, good, we have no problem. So, but the fact of the matter is, Krishna had only one wife. Radha is not mentioned anywhere in the Mahabharata, nowhere in the Harivamsha, or Bhagavatam one sentence, Anaya Radhita, just an anonymous Gopika whose name was Radha, she went that way and Krishna went that way. That's all. Anaya Radhita. And Vishnu Puranam also does not mention. Only in Brahma Vaivarta, which was written during the Mughal period. Brahma Vaivarta Puranam concocted during the Mughal period, ostensibly with an evil intention to malign Krishna. All kinds of lecherous raunch culture was mentioned there, and Radha noticing Krishna copulating with a Gopika and Radha calling Krishna Lampatam and saying that Krishna should be driven out, all this nonsense. Even that Hindus have accepted. You see, this is the Hindu genius. So, but now this was a stick that we gave into the hands of these Marxist and Christian and Islamic apologists, with which they are beating us now. That Krishna is a playboy and promiscuous, he is a philanderer, blah blah blah. So basically it's all lies, all concocted. So now Shishupala hated Krishna. Shishupala is known as a Vidvesha yogi. He hated Krishna so much that all the time he was thinking of Krishna. That's why he got moksha. What is the reason behind hating or fearing Krishna is not important. Kamsa was a Bhaya yogi. He was always scared, and that is why, because 24 hours he is thinking of Krishna, but though he was scared, this fellow he hates 24 hours. But Shishupala never mentioned Gopikas and these affairs and liaisons of Krishna, promiscuity, adultery, nothing. Why? Because had they been real, Shishupala would not have hesitated to even use this against Krishna. The very fact that he did not mention there was nothing like that is proof that these things were all figments of somebody's feverish imagination. Some bhakta. Anyway. See, Mirabai once went to Vrindavan. Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami there, I believe, told Mirabai, no, women are not allowed here. So Mirabai, I believe, sent a reply. Ask them who is the other male other than Krishna here. They fell at her feet. See, one of the belief in Hinduism is Krishna is the only male. All Jivatmas are Radhas. Rama is the only male. All Jivatmas are Sita. Ho gaya na kahani? Rama Parabrahma, Sita represents Jivatma, that is you and me. Hanuman is the Guru because Hanuman gave the Rama's signet ring, which represents Brahmajnana. So Hanuman gave the signet ring Brahmajnana. Signet ring represents Brahmajnana. Who is the Guru? Hanuman. Body is the Lanka. Ravanasura is the Rajoguna. And Vibhishana is Sattva Kumbhakarna is Tamoguna. This is Vivekananda's take on Ramayana. So you can go on. Hinduism allows you, as long as it inspires spirituality, exalts your thinking, edifies people, and instructs moral values, and also along with that some secular knowledge is given. This is the best informal university in India. We have knocked that off, and we have now got concept schools, and all kinds of crappish nonsense are taught in schools. That is why we are losers. Okay. Shishupala never mentioned anything. So that is simply his proof that all this was nonsense. Okay. And like I told you, Narada already predicted that there will be a showdown 13 years. Therefore, Yudhishthira, you see, had the foresight that he started making friendships with many kings, because he knew that once the showdown comes, we will have to have a large army. That's what Modi is doing. So, to fight Pakistan and China, Modi undertook many trips. And he got so many allies. Some idiots in our country are criticizing Modi. If they study Mahabharata, they will understand why Modi is behaving like Yudhishthira actually. Okay? So please understand. The more you read Mahabharata, the better you will understand Modi ji. Okay. So Duryodhana came to Mayasabha. He fell into that pool and everybody laughed at him. Yudhishthira corrected them. No, don't laugh at this fellow. This thing is there in the movies anyway. N.T. Ramarao made glorified Duryodhana Karna, Danavira Shura Karna. Karna was not a Danavira Shura. He was okay, he was giving this Dana and all that. But he was a deal Veera Krishna, all deals. And like a dumb fellow, he promised Duryodhana. Duryodhana had some good qualities. See, Vedas say that there is no such thing as Satan. In Hinduism, we don't have Satan. That means pure evil, personification of evil. That concept is not there. Every human, every person has some proportion of sattva, some proportion of rajas, some proportion of tamaguna. So even Duryodhana had some sattva proportion. So he made Karna the king of Angarajyam, that is Orissa, at that time, because Karna was denied the eligibility criteria to participate in the competition. Then when Karna, that was a good thing because Duryodhana supported meritocracy. But Duryodhana's intention was diabolical. He noticed that Karna is a capable fellow to compete against Arjuna. So his intention was diabolical, but the action was good. So this is how you must understand Mahabharata. So anyway, I will just try to complete it. Already 40 minutes. Huh? Oh my God. So now Yudhishthira corrected them. So, and don't laugh at Bhima. This fellow Duryodhana landed at Mahasabha and he thought it was a pool. It was water. He fell into that. So everyone had a good laugh. So Duryodhana then managed to convince his dad Dhritarashtra, Karna and all these fellows, to play a game of dice in the newly built palace by Duryodhana. Duryodhana built a new palace. Vidura discouraged them, but nobody listened to Vidura. So, and Vidura himself was sent to invite them. Just see. Yudhishthira was not willing, but out of respect for Dhritarashtra, he engaged in the play. And he lost stakes, and first his brothers and then Draupadi. Draupadi was dragged to the court by Dushasana. She was in her menses. She was stripped. She was trying. They tried to strip her, and she was bleeding because she was in the menses. Only Krishna saved her. That you already know. And she asked a question, whether Yudhishthira lost her rightly. See, look at this discussion. Nannodi tannodena, tanodi nannodena. This is Telugu dialogue. So actually Draupadi was trying to highlight the importance of the woman, because Vedas give lot of importance. All female deities are there, and Sitaram, first the female deity comes. Vedam also says Putrena Duhita Sama, the daughter is equal to the son. Putrena Duhita Sama, please make a note. Manusmriti is also there. So this degeneration already set in by that time. So Draupadi was asking, did he lose him? Did he lose me as a stake before losing himself or after losing himself? It's a catch-22 situation. If you say before or after, either way you are wrong. Draupadi asked this question of everybody. And Bhishma, this man Bhishma, who later went on to utter 30,000 verses on Dharma in the Shanti Parva, he said, I can't decide because Dharma is so subtle. Vikarna, one of the youngest brothers of Duryodhana, was the only person who spoke. And he said, no, this is nonsense, don't do this. But he was silenced by Karna. Karna silenced Vikarna and told him, listen, you are a bacha, don't talk. And Karna gave the idea of stripping Draupadi. Karna called Draupadi a whore and told her, your husbands are impotent, marry one of us. So Karna was evil personified in a way, though he also had some good. So Bhishma himself did not come to the defense of a woman being stripped in public. So this is how, elderly people, when they fail, the whole society suffers. So Bhishma had to die a horrible death. And then Duryodhana showed his naked thigh to Draupadi, told her, come, sit on me. That is how Bhima took a vow, that he will kill this fellow, break his thighs. And he did that. So Bhima lived up to his vow. And then Bhima also said that he will drink the blood of this fellow Dushasana who is stripping her. And Draupadi was also a great sadhvi. She is known as a Pativrata. She came out of the Yajna, so she is known as Yajnaseni. And Dhritarashtra was scared that Draupadi will utter a curse now. Therefore, Dhritarashtra, before Draupadi would utter a curse, because Bhima has already said certain things which are already scary, that he will break that fellow's thighs, this fellow drink his blood. So, out of fear that Draupadi might utter a curse, Dhritarashtra gave back everything and said, okay, you go back home, we are not taking anything away, sorry, please go back. They all went away. Now after that, is the second dice game was also there, just imagine. Again, on the request of Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra sent a word to Yudhishthira for another round of dice. Out of respect for Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira succumbed and he played the dice game second time. You see, we all make these mistakes. Cheat me once, shame on me. Cheat me twice, cheat me once, shame on you. Cheat me twice, shame on myself. So you can't make the same mistake second time. But Yudhishthira did it. Misplaced respect. Here Yudhishthira miscalculated. He should never have accepted the second time. He went there to place the second time, and in the second time the condition was, if they lose, they have to go to the forest for 12 years and live 1 year incognito, Ajnatavasam. Accordingly, Yudhishthira lost in the game. Shakuni used the magical dice. They all left. While going, all the brothers vowed that they will wipe out these Kauravas after their return. So Vidura and Dronacharya pacified them. The Kauravas were also scared, and when they left, Pandava Vanavasam is a movie in which this scene comes. This scene is important for you to know. As they left to the forest, 13 years, 1 year incognito, Yudhishthira covered his face. He did not show his face because he didn't want people to see the anger in his face. Not only that, he felt ashamed for having been a fool to have accepted and made the mistake of taking Draupadi, his wife, which no man should do. A woman is not chattel property. Unfortunately, in the desert cults, woman is treated like a property. In Hinduism, Ardhanarishwara. Every Jivatma has no sex. It is sex neutral. You can be born as a woman. A man can be born as a woman in the next birth. So the Atma does not have any sex. The body acquires based on your characteristics. So that is the Vedic thought, Vedic idea. So by staking his wife, he has committed the ultimate crime. So he was ashamed. So Yudhishthira covered his face. He did not want to show his face. He was angry. He didn't want people to see the anger also, because Yudhishthira was Ajatashatru. Once he gets angry, all kinds of, catastrophes will be unleashed on the people who cause this harm. So these are all various reasons. And Bhima proceeded, while admiring his own biceps and body. The message he was sending is, Aake sabka band baja dunga. Arjuna followed, scattering sand. Arjuna took a handful of sand and he was spraying it, indicating that once he comes back, he will rain, shower arrows on these fellows and completely wipe out the Kauravas. Nakula and Sahadeva covered their body with dust and ashes. Nakula was the most handsome man on the planet. So Nakula, that means none as handsome as Nakula. So they also felt ashamed, so they covered their faces because they didn't want people to see them, and they felt ashamed, full of remorse. And Draupadi, attired in one piece of cloth, stained with blood, her menses blood, hair dishevelled like Kali Mata, weeping, and Draupadi said, in the 14th year, once we come back, all the wives of these Kauravas, the wives of all those for whom I have been reduced to such a plight, will be in the 14th year deprived of their husbands, sons, relatives, and all dear ones, smeared with blood, and they will offer whatever pujas and yajnas and oblations to their dead husbands. So సేమ్ పరిస్థితి 14 ఏళ్లలో వీళ్ళకు వస్తుంది అని ద్రౌపది 4 వార్నింగ్ ఇచ్చిపోయింది. అందుకే చచ్చారు, చేసిన వెధవ పనులకి చచ్చారు అది. సో please understand, all these things are important. How in the movies they have distorted everything, and people accuse Krishna of having masterminded the massacre. Krishna did everything possible, and in spite of that, these fellows, and anyway they have vowed, Pandavas have vowed that we will finish them. Just imagine, even if Krishna had tried to probably enforce any peace, they would have probably not listened to him. And Krishna begged for 5 villages instead of they took the Indraprastha, everything. अरे 5 village दे दो रे भाई, नहीं वो भी नहीं देंगे. Read Krishna की चेतावनी, कृष्ण की चेतावनी, रामधारी सिंह दिनकर, राष्ट्र कवि, कृष्ण की चेतावनी पढ़ो. I have made a video on that also. Anyway, so Narada appeared and he told them, yes, in the 14th year there will be a catastrophic battle, war, all because of the fault of Duryodhana, and the Kurus will be destroyed by Bhima and Arjuna. So Duryodhana and Karna and all these Shakuni, these rascals, they went and fell at the feet of Dronacharya. Dronacharya said, okay, I will try to protect you, but Pandavas are of all celestial origin. Actually, Pandavas are Indra born in 5 bodies. They are incapable of being killed. I will do whatever I can do. Drishtadyumna was born to kill me. He will kill me. The time of destruction will come. And Krishna himself is Kal. So you fools, you have done what you have done. Now wait for your repercussions. In the meanwhile, have some good time, because there is nothing more you can do. This is Dronacharya. So, this is the end of the Sabha Parva. Hope you enjoyed listening to it. Jai Shri Ram.